your body is 50 plus, your knees should fully straighten, bend, and control your weight. Let's test it. Test number 1. Your knee should be able to straighten. Bringing it flat against the floor. There should be no space between your knee. This is not straight. You see that? This is. And it should not take extra effort to get into that position. And if your knee is unable to straighten out in this way, then your walking is going to start to change and your knee is stiffening up. How'd you do? Test number 2, a deep knee bend. Your knee should be able to bend and your heel make it all the way up to your glute. And if you're not able to do this, you're changing either in the muscles or in the knee joint itself. Test number 3, squat. Sit down and come up without using momentum or dropping. If that's becoming difficult, there are definitely changes developing in the knees, but also in your hips and in your ankles. So, how did you do with your range of motion, your flexibility? Why then does the knee motion change? Well, there can be some history. If there's some history of someone having hurt the knee in the past, sometimes they've been, kind of accustomed to protecting the knee. But I will tell you that much of what's happening is that we have these avoidance patterns that people develop. And I see this where people are not getting down onto the floor because they're afraid of getting up off of the floor and not being able to, or they're noticing it's becoming difficult. And then if you call yourself squatting, then, the squat does not, it's not a full squat. So it becomes very shallow. I'll try to, but it's like instead of coming down like this where the hips go back, there's this tendency that this is the squat. Well, you can't squat all the way down that way. Okay, so we start changing how we move based upon how the rest of the joints are actually moving as well. And those avoidance patterns start to shrink the amount of motion that we're taking our joints through. And then, of course, then that's going to subsequently, result in further loss of range of motion and further loss of strength. Many times, also, people just they develop movements in their body that are kind of compensating for just loss of abilities. And so, just like I said with the squat, if you can't bend at your hips, then you're not really bending at the knees very well. So it's like this ability here is going to affect this, you see. Or if your ankle can't bend all the way, then even then your squats can't really come down because you don't have the full amount of range of motion at your ankle. But I think by and large, a lot of what happens is that, especially in America, everything is chair height and above. Your toilet, your dining table chair, your office chair, your sofa. Okay, many of the things that we sit on are sitting at, a chair height and even higher. Bar stool, dining table chairs, SUVs, and trucks. So we have almost eliminated the need to go beyond. I keep saying it's like waist knee level. We eliminate this need to come all the way down, and that's actually working against us. And that really shouldn't be. It really should be natural for us to get down onto the floor. So we're going to look at if you are losing some range of motion and flexibility in your knees. Let's do a few different things or exercises that can help to improve the knees, and let's take it from there. So we talked about making sure the knee is straight, and so you can put a pillow, book, rolled up towel under the heel, and if you're having trouble straightening the knee, then you can let gravity be your friend, but also tighten this top thigh muscle. So you're going to press the back of the knee down towards the floor. And so this is going to fire through this area, and it's going to be a good exercise for strengthening, but it's also forcing my knee to straighten out, or just encouraging it to straighten out. And when you support it on the bolster or the pillow or the book or anything like that, it just, you're allowing gravity to also assist you with this. So you can press down, hold it for 5 seconds, and then relax it. Press down, hold it for 5 seconds. Now, if that's very uncomfortable, then that's pretty much all you need to do. Okay. But if it's like, oh, that doesn't really feel like much of anything, then go ahead and put the leg up, let it be unsupported, nothing's behind it, and just hang out. You can do this, 5 minutes, up to 8 minutes, 10 minutes, but no more than 10 minutes. But really, just let gravity. And I already have the flexibility, but just the fact that it's bolted up, bolted up, bolted. What's the word? Anyway, it's supported up underneath the heel and it's floating, then the gravity can do its job there. So that's one way of working on the knee straightening. Okay. Now, the second thing is to work on the bending. And what we're going to do is an assisted deep knee squat. Now, this is not the ideal setup. What I would encourage you to do is use your kitchen sink. But just for demonstration purposes, you would basically grab onto the edge of that sink, okay? And using that as a support, you can kind of lean, almost like jet skis. You kind of lean back, okay? And then you can work on coming down. And you just honor what you have, okay? Work where you can, okay? Honor what you have, and then just, but that support at the sink can help you to just try to gradually get a little bit lower. So you can just do 10 of these coming up and down. And if you really wanted to hang out and really, really pull back, you might find that you can come down even a little bit lower, okay? And then you can hold that for 5 to 10, okay? And then you use that sink edge and then kind of help pull yourself up. All right, so that's a very good way of just working on improving that knee bending. And if you look, when you're doing this, it's not just the knees that are bending, but it's the hips that are bending as well. Okay, but start with what you have. Honor that. Now, for the sake of, like I said, you want to be able to squat. That's going to be a way of building up your ability to squat, but you also want the strength. So the flexibility to get down, but you need the strength to come back up. So just do body weight and just do where you can. It doesn't have to be a deep knee bend, but just where you can. All right, and just start using the joints and reteaching the muscle what to do. And that will help you kind of head towards your progressions of eventually getting down to the floor. But you might need a little bit of help with that. But this is something I think should be taken very seriously. I just had someone in the clinic today, and they were saying that they couldn't squat because the knees were bothering them. He was literally just 50. And I was like, oh, that's something that needs to be addressed. We'll definitely want to help him with something like this improving, but overall, it's a reality. Use it, or you're going to have a very difficult time within your 60s and 70s and 80th decade. Okay, so this is the time to correct it. If you need help, let me know.